Wednesday lunchtime. I'm out with 25 kilos on my backpack again, doing a 1 hour ruck. And I've been thinking that I'm finally training in a way that is in alignment with how my body is structured and getting results by doing that. And how in the past I spent a lot of time, a lot of years wishing that I kind of looked different and I wanted to have bigger muscles and be that more bodybuilder-y style look, and I never was able to achieve it. Even if I followed the right people on YouTube, followed their advice, lifted weights, set up like good routines, followed decent programs, tried my best to stick to their diets, and even with all that, it just never really clicked for me. Like, I didn't see the same growth in my muscles that other people would. I remember even when I was younger, in my early 20s, starting the gym with friends who are a bit shorter and had that more stocky build before they even started doing the gym. We would do the same kind of workouts and train together, put the same effort in, and they would see muscle show up on their body a lot faster than me. It's kind of demotivating, but it's just the reality of having long legs and long arms. Like, the structure of my body doesn't align well with getting those kind of fast results. And then especially when it comes to bulking and cutting, I was definitely stuck in endless cycles of deciding that the end goal is to be big, so I need to eat to be big. And then ultimately just getting fat because the muscle doesn't grow fast enough, and the fat gain comes easily. So then I would go into a bit of a panic cut, restrict calories, diet down, and then still not be happy when I lost a lot of weight, because I would still have like a small amount of fat that I couldn't shift, and at the same time I would lose what kind of muscle and structure I had, and I would just look bony in my opinion and still not be happy. So it's been hard to find the right path forward, until eventually I realized that, you know, I can't change my genetics and I can't change my life circumstances. I don't have the same free time that I did when I was in my 20s before having kids and a family. You know, I'm in this body for life, so I need to work with it. And originally I was thinking, look, if I'm never going to have that large muscular physique, that's fine. Maybe this time I really did lean into cardio. So I would do running, but then running would give me knee pain and trouble, because I've mentioned before, I do actually build up like cardiovascular fitness quite quickly, probably faster than my body can adapt to it. So my heart and lungs will be fine for me to push quite hard, but maybe my knees and my joints are not ready yet, and I always used to tend to overdo it. Like, without any training, just go out and run 15 kilometers, 20 kilometers and feel fine, but mess up something in my knee and reset me. And then also, it's just natural that as you go through life, like, eventually you just get busy, you get married, you have kids, you have a career, or your work, or your business, and you'll find that you have less and less time to do the things that you would like to do, like giving yourself enough time to do all these sports and training and cardio and fit it all in, and dedicate time to preparing your food and your diet. And something has to give in the end. Like, you have to neglect something ultimately, is what I would find. It's very hard to manage it all at the same time. So I would have moments where I was very dedicated and motivated for fitness, and maybe restricting my diet or doing a lot of training, and I would find myself not fully concentrating at work because I'd lost interest in that. And then opportunities come up sometimes at work, or something happens and suddenly you're giving everything to that, and kind of diet isn't really a priority, and it goes out the window and you lose all your results. So like constant phases of like up and down, really. Because I wanted things to be ideal. So I was either doing nothing, or when I would get motivated, you know, I'm smart enough to do the research and realize what I should be doing according to the experts or the people who have the body that you want, even though most of them really are just genetically gifted and would have a pretty good body whether they did any of that stuff or not. I've met these people. Like, there was a guy I went to university with, and he had ripped abs, muscular arms, looked like a bodybuilder. What did he do? Like, kayaking was his sport. Now, okay, there's probably some resistance there with kayaking, but if I did kayaking, I wouldn't blow up and be that size. This guy didn't lift weights, just did cardio in the form of kayaking, and had a muscular physique. Now, I've kept in touch with him on and off. We're talking like 10, 12 years later now from when we last met. Last time I chatted to him, he was kind of complimenting on me on like, oh wow, you made a lot of improvements over the years. You're looking a lot better than you did back at university. And he knew me as someone who was trying back then, you know, like trying to go to the gym and trying to eat right. And it just came so effortless to him who didn't even go to the gym. And I said to him, how's it going for him? Because he still looks fit in all of his photos. What are you training? Still doesn't lift weights, just does running, cycling, and occasionally some kayaking. Like, some people just hold more muscle. It's unfair. But ultimately I decided in the end, like, this is the hand I've been dealt. These are my genetics. I'm going to do what I can and try to enjoy the process by finding exercises that I like doing, activities that I like doing, find a way of eating that I can sustain that's actually good for my health, and focus more on like being more capable, being stronger, having more endurance in ways that transfers over to kind of real world fitness, and be less obsessed with how I look. And ultimately I have ended up looking better over the last year, that I haven't been so focused on it. But still, I have to remind myself sometimes, like, weightlifting has a bit of a poor payoff for me. Of course, I still do it. I do a lot of rucking. That's my main thing now. I do other things because I enjoy them, whether that be the occasional boxing class or weekly class. You know, I drift in and out of things, but I do lift weights a couple of times a week. I've got dumbbells at home that I'll pick up from time to time. I've got the rucking bag that I've started doing like outdoor little workouts, mini circuits while I'm out rucking. But it has a bit of a poor payoff for me, whereas cardio and my endurance I can build up quite quickly. But really things got good for me when I found rucking, because now I've been able to incorporate a bit of strength training with the cardio. You know, you get out for a ruck, you're doing a walk, you're breathing a bit more heavy. It's not super intense like a run, but it is hard work. It does physically exhaust you, and the added resistance that you're carrying on your back improves your posture and your shoulder muscles. It works your legs and your core. So everything's getting a good bit of strength training naturally, as well as cardio. And the great thing about rucking is that rather than all those other activities that I find difficult to fit into my life, being quite busy now, rucking is easy to fit in because it's just walking. You can do it with other people, you can take the kids out, push the pushchair, walk the dog, commute to work, whatever it is. If you're going to go out for a walk somewhere, just make it a bit more challenging and carry some weight on your back, and now you're getting a great workout. And I'm able to squeeze these rucking sessions in where I carry 25 kilos around for an hour, at least twice a week, often 3 times a week, sometimes 4. Sometimes I get a longer one in on the weekend. It's just finding the opportunities and being consistent, because ultimately, instead of wishing that you had the perfect circumstances and that I was 22 years old again and I had all the time in the world, and this time around I would finally dedicate myself to it and push harder and be perfect with everything, rather than wishing I was in that scenario and wishing that I was, I'm not saying I wouldn't want to be short or anything, but I've got like a tall, long physique, long limbs, and I don't mind being 6'2", that's great, but I would like to be a bit more naturally muscular, a bit more heavy set, rather than the sort of ectomorph who also carries a bit of belly fat physique. That's what my default is. Like, if I don't train and if I don't look after my diet, I don't have a body that is just great on its own. Like, the default will return to a belly, man boobs and skinny arms and legs, and I don't like the way I look when I'm in that mode. So the last year I've really been trying to turn it around and be consistent, not yo-yoing up and down on different programs, but just find something that works. And for me, finding something that fits my life has been rucking. Rucking enables me to be able to keep in a calorie deficit, and it's been able to, because I've been consistent with the exercise and the training, and also rucking gave me so many benefits in terms of like improving my joint health and making my knees feel robust and my ankles. It's made my legs so much more solid that I've been less prone to injury when I've been doing squats or leg presses or going for runs, because now I do a park run on a Saturday as well. But I never could really stick to running without getting injured, and I really feel like the rucking gave me a really good, strong, firm base, and just all round kind of built me a bit stronger, made me a bit more capable. So now I can just do a park run and I've got no worries that my knee's going to give out along the way. Yeah, I'm able to just push harder and get the most out of those runs without worrying that I'm going to have a knee problem or something. And I like doing the occasional run. I don't do the park run every Saturday, but when I do it, I give it my all. I do it as a bit of a test to just see that my cardio fitness is up there, and I feel like the rucking transfers over to it. I can do the park run in 20 minutes now, and it's a steep incline course, 4.5 laps, lots of uphill and then downhill. It's quite a challenging one, but I find those hills to be where I make up the most gains on people in speed, because I can only put that down to rucking. Like, all these steps that I'm doing under a heavy load have built strength in my legs. Now, I don't have like massive calves or massive quads or anything built from heavy deadlifting and squats, but I never did, even when I used to try and do heavy squats and deadlifts. So, but I have noticed like much more tone in my legs when I tense my legs now, and through being a bit leaner, they've got a lot more shape, they're a lot more toned. That's good for me. Like, I've never been able to achieve that even with weight training before. So it's just this more gradual, steady state of just plodding along with a weight on your back and doing it over and over again, getting out every week, 3 or 4 times, 2 to 3 times. Like, you're not going to get results instantly, but if you keep doing it, things will start to develop. And like, it's not easy, it's a bit heavy, you kind of want to take it off, but you just need to get round. When you finally get home, you can take it off, and you'll enjoy life a lot more, knowing you don't have to carry it around everywhere you go. But it does build your kind of mental resilience as well, and make you realize you're capable of completing something that's quite hard and arduous. And then for me, that's been just getting that consistency with my exercise, getting that kind of locked in and a habit built. That's what then motivated me to change my diet and start eating better as well, to support that. And as I said, picking up some other activities from time to time as well. And the overall result is looking the best I've ever looked, really. And like I've dropped, really, like the heaviest I've been is 96 kilos, and then I got down to around 92 for a while, and then keep dropping and dropping, and now I'm kind of hovering at 82, 83. It goes up and down a little bit, but the goal is to probably get down to about 80, but I'm not really obsessing over it or pushing for it. I'm just kind of loosely tracking it and monitoring it, because I wouldn't want to get too light. So I just have to check I'm kind of maintaining my weight soon. Yeah, we've still got more progress to make. But yeah, I'm not rushing it, and the goal isn't to try and achieve someone else's physique that I've seen on the internet. It is just to be the kind of fittest version of myself that I can be, within the constraints of the life that I'm living, the job that I have, other obligations outside of fitness, because this isn't my whole life. It's just something that I'm doing for me, and I'm able to fit it in. And you've got to take care of yourself, really, as you get older. I'm 37 now, and I think it's important to be preparing early, to not be losing muscle mass, to be trying to maintain it and try to grow it. Even if I'm not built for it, that just means I need to work harder, but do it in a way that's sustainable for me. And rucking gives me that kind of real world strength of just being able to pick something up that's heavy and carry it around for a long distance, and then occasionally, shoulder press the bag up, bicep curl it, do squats with it, lunges, do some pull-ups occasionally, push-ups with the rucking bag. Like, there's so much you can do without needing to go to a gym that will keep you fit and strong. So ultimately, I'm just saying that you kind of have to change your attitude if you're in that kind of position of being frustrated and not achieving the body that you want, especially when it's due to not being gifted with great genetics. Don't kind of get hung up on that and have an all or nothing approach. Like, accept your reality and then start working hard to be as fit and as strong as you can be. And if your circumstances don't allow for you to train in the most optimal way, maybe something like rucking could help, because I do find it's the easiest thing that I've been able to incorporate that doesn't seem to detract from a family life, especially if you're someone who's like in your 30s or 40s and has kids and limited amount of time. Then you're going to be able to do rucking alongside a lot of day-to-day stuff that you'd be doing anyway. So there's kind of no excuses for not having enough time to train, when all we're talking about is, being able to take your kids up to the park, or walk to work, or walk the dog, or use your lunch break to go out for a walk, or just start adding weight to your backpack and making it a bit more challenging. You just need to have a bit of a mindset shift of, rather than making excuses and finding reasons not to do something, looking for reasons to do things and finding practical solutions that can fit in. For me, rucking was one of those ones that I started and really saw the benefits of it and have been able to stick with it. And if you haven't ever done rucking before and you want a bit more information on how to get started, if you look, there's a little link in the description of this video, and I've put together a little beginner's guide to rucking. It's very brief, so yeah, just check that out.